Welcome to LA Press Box once again, everybody. I'm glad you're here for another night of Dodgers baseball, and a special welcome to Rockies fans joining us tonight. You're affected by a local TV blackout, you're away from home, or you're simply looking for another way to follow the game. You found your live game companion. Here on LA Press Box, we'll follow every pitch with live 3D field tracking, real-time statistics, score updates, strategy, and conversation throughout the evening. Whether you're cheering for the Rockies or the Dodgers, we're glad you're here. Tonight's a rubber match of the three-game series at Dodger Stadium, with the Dodgers and the Rockies each looking to claim the series victory. Monday night's opener was an instant classic as far as regular season games go and games between really Goliath and David. The Dodgers battled back after being down and then gave away a significant lead to Colorado, ultimately lasting 11 innings, with Shohei Ohtani along the way driving in 4 runs before rookie Dalton Rushing delivered the walk-off hit to give LA a 1-run victory in the extra innings. He also made a crucial play as the game was winding down, as the Dodgers let a 5-run lead slip. It was a great defensive play, started off by Andy Pajes taking a ball that hit the wall, off the wall, wheeling, throwing it into the infield, and then Miguel Rojas um, performing the cutoff, relay to home, and then Rushing tagging the hand of the headfirst sliding runner. But last night belonged to the Rockies. Colorado responded last night, and very characteristically so, if I can say, in my brief time watching them. This roster has a bunch of young players who are hungry, and they battle every pitch. And it showed last night with one of the best performances they've had of the season overall. They got a strong start from its pitching staff, and this was coming from a starter with an ERA of almost 7. And they capitalized on key scoring opportunities and some Dodger defensive mistakes late in the game, to the point where you saw something pretty rare, and that was Dave Roberts losing his cool just a little bit. And neither confirm nor deny he dropped an F-bomb while he hit the railing for the front of the dugout. But the Rockies offense ultimately deserves credit for coming through with some timely hitting, and they were very aggressive last night. In fact, both nights, and I'm assuming tonight will be the same, a lot of swinging at the first pitch. And that's one of the things that makes the game go fast. So hopefully you're locked in early with us. So that's what sets the stage for what should feel a little bit like a playoff style finale for this series. The Dodgers are looking to win another home series and continue strengthening their hold atop the National League West. They still have a double-digit lead there. And they also, for now, still have the best record in baseball. They're the first team to get to 60 wins this year. The Rockies have an opportunity to leave Los Angeles feeling good and taking the series. So, as always, there are storylines that will bring you and continue, whether it's the All-Stars, especially on the Dodgers side of the ledger, or people struggling, like tonight's pitcher, Roki Sasaki. And the introductory poll tonight is, which pitcher is going to leave the game first, all things considered. And I'll get to that in just a second. But keep an eye on Shohei Ohtani and Freddie Freeman and the lately emerging Dalton Rushing, as well as some other key players. But as usual, we're going to bring you the starting lineups. And if you're joining us for the first time, let us know where you're watching from in the chat and which team you're cheering for. We had some fun banter in the chat last night. In fact, we had somebody from Alaska watching, which was awesome. Whether you're in LA, Denver, or somewhere else around the world, we're glad you've chosen to spend part of your night with us tonight. So, as usual, you can see over my shoulder that the Dodgers are favored. Although I don't know if I would favor them at a 2-1 clip, although I guess it's not quite there. The odds are 61 to 39. As far as the two probable pitchers for the Rockies, they have Gabriel Hughes, who has only pitched 3 innings this year. So he's a real wild card. Has a 0 ERA. He has 1 strikeout and 1 walk, and has not given up a home run in all 3 innings. Roki Sasaki has really struggled after a strong start to the season, and what some Dodgers coaches were saying seemed to put the worst behind him, I've seen him fighting back tears the last couple of outings. So at the least, there's going to be some drama when he takes the mound. He has a 3-5 record, and his ERA has ballooned recently, and it's now at 5.4. He's got 75 strikeouts, 32 walks, and he's given up 17 home runs. And that's one of his weaknesses. So we hope the man with the golden glove rebounds tonight if you're a Dodgers fan. Here are the lineups for tonight. So on the Rockies side of the ledger, we have McCarthy in the DH position again, Moniak in left field, Carrick batting third. Really, really difficult batter to get out. In fact, the first and the third batters, if you can see this, are both batting over 300, and then the the cleanup hitter, Rumfield at first base, is right there at 300. Followed by son of Dodger Eric Karros. Karros is at third base, Johnston right field, Julian second base, Tovar shortstop, and then Sullivan at catcher. So as far as the Dodgers, we have, as usual, Shohei Ohtani opening at the DH position, followed tonight in the second position by Tommy Edman. And I like seeing that. That reminds me of the kind of lineup that won a championship the last couple of years. And it looks like, for now at least, Andy Pages has the night off if he doesn't get inserted into the lineup as a pinch hitter later on. Although Edman's not going to play not going to play center field or left field, which he's done a little bit since he's returned from his injury. Freddie Freeman at first base, batting in his customary third position. Mookie Betts, having last night off, is now back at shortstop. And the Dodgers might have pulled that out if he was playing shortstop instead of Miguel Rojas, which honestly is a person that the Dodgers expect to be able to do anything for them. And he did make an error, a mental error that led to the Dodgers essentially giving up the winning run last night. But I don't have a whole lot of criticism for him because he's such a great team player, and normally he's automatic. I think if it was Mookie, he would have made that play. But Mookie's back in cleanup, followed by Max Muncy at third base. Teoscar Hernandez also in the lineup tonight after taking the night off, most of the night off until he pinch hit last night and drew a walk, and things were really exciting. But the Dodgers are not able to capitalize on getting the first two runners on in the last inning and went down by a run. Then Kyle Tucker in right field, Alex Call in center, and Alonso, the rookie, making his second start this year at catcher. So Rushing gets the night off for the time being. So that's our starting lineup, everybody. And now, as always, with about 2 minutes until the first pitch, is the time, if you haven't yet, to get some snacks, a drink, and get settled in while I load the 3D and I load the box scores for you. Right now, the Dodgers are finishing the national anthem. And shortly, Roki Sasaki will be on the mound, and that'll be quite interesting to see. Thanks for getting the chat going, our Alaskan friend. I'll be with you shortly, as soon as the game officially starts in about a minute, and I can load these visuals. If you're just getting started, guys, go ahead and get in the chat before we get this first pitch underway and tell us which pitcher you think is going to come out of the game tonight. I think it's complete toss-up because Roki Sasaki, the last couple of starts, has really struggled and hitters have gotten to him. Although he can get some of these Rockies hitters to chase because they love to swing at the first pitch. So if he doesn't just serve it up, they might be vulnerable, although they have some good hitters. And the other pitcher is a complete wild card. He's only pitched 3 innings this year. All right, we are just about ready to get started here. So Roki Sasaki about to throw the first pitch to McCarthy. And swung on and flied high. And this will be an easy first out for the Dodgers. So that'll bring up Moniak. Moniak is batting .282 and has 15 home runs on this season. And Sasaki starts with a strike. So far, so good. I really feel like if you look closely and you know the players, especially you watch them with any regularity, you can tell. Second pitch swung on and missed. You can tell if the pitcher has good stuff and good control right from the beginning. And so far, so good for Sasaki. And he starts with an 0-2 count on Moniak. The pitch swung on miss for strike 3. So already 2 outs. And if you're a Dodger fan, we'll definitely take that. Now bringing up a tough batter, Carrig, batting .318. Very tough out. And I can see why he's batting .318. He's one of these guys that makes contact, doesn't give any pitches away, and can wear a pitcher down with a bunch of foul balls, but really good accuracy. First pitch taken for a strike, 0-1. Two outs, the next pitch. Swung on and fly to left field. Hernandez is going back, but not too far. And the play easily made by Teo throws the ball into the outfield, or into the stands over the fence. And very quickly, Roki Sasaki gets out of there, and that's what he wants. Just keep the vibe going. So, middle of 1, the score is 0-0. And let's see if they have the box score going for this game. Yes, they do. So, time to load that up. There's 1. And 2. Awesome. Now you've got those in the bottom right corner of your screen so you can track batter progress as the game continues. One of the things I'm here for is to guide you about 3D. And no, Otani is not catching the ball. This is just one of the fun things about the 3D, the glitches and the imperfections. And I hate to say it, but guys, it's not going to last forever. At some point, the technology is going to get too clean for us. We won't have the fun. I've seen a catcher come up and pretend to be Shohei Otani. So Gabriel Hughes comes up, and we're going to see how he looks. And the first pitch swung on and fouled back for strike one. If you're just joining us tonight, get in the chat and participate in our poll. Which pitcher is going to be the first one to get yanked tonight? And then let us know where you're joining us from and who you're rooting for. All right, let's check out Mick in Wonderland. We got a couple of things I want me to comment on. I'll get to that in a second. As now Otani takes a ball inside, and the count is 1-2. Get to your thoughts in a moment. Takes another one, 2-2. So Hughes about to throw his fifth pitch to Shohei Otani. Swung on, fly to right, but pretty high and pretty shallow. Well, shallow for Shohei. And one away. Yeah, that's good stuff. Definitely late inning drama. Thanks for that in the chat. So Tommy Edman up, and I love seeing Tommy. I mean, he's batting over 400. No, he's not batting over 400. He was around 400. Now he's like 360, 370 since he's returned. And he bats the first ball right into the outfield for a base hit. Atta baby. Atta baby Tommy. Do that thing. Yeah, there you go. There you go. Do that Dodger dance. So now is Freddie Freeman, who had a chance to deliver last night with 2 on and 2 out. And we've become so spoiled with him as far as, getting us out of difficult situations. But he is human. He's batting .293. And he's got 15 home runs. Looks at the first pitch for a ball, 1-0. Boy, we saw Tommy Edman steal last night, but it was in the 3D. And I looked at the highlights later, and they had this camera view of Tommy Edman running from first to third. And I was like flabbergasted how fast that guy is. Next pitch is a strike, 1-1. Like, these guys can roll. Dodgers are filled with people that can run. He can run. Freeland can run. I mean, there's all kinds of people that can run. And that helps you when you're willing to do the small things to win, not just try to jack home runs. Next pitch is a ball, counts 2-1. Take a look and see what kind of lead he has. Oh, enough where you'd have to kind of keep him in check, use glances over there. And the next pitch is actually fouled. Made it look like that was a base hit, but it wasn't. So the count's 2-2 to Freddie Freeman. So with 1 on and 1 out, Pitch to Freeman. Line down to left field. Right down the line. It's going to be trouble. It's going to be in the corner. Moniak's getting it, throwing it in. But Edman with those wheels comes all the way around to third. And Freddie Freeman dances with his double. Atta baby. Great job. That was awesome. All right. So LA strikes first. And now, after sitting out the game last night, our normal shortstop, who plays at an all-star level at shortstop, has incredible range, is back in the lineup in the cleanup position with only one out and 2 runners in scoring position on second and third. So, first 2 pitches miss, and the early count to Mookie is 2-0. It's great to see Mookie confident and doing well again at the plate. I mean, his average is 236 because he struggled so poorly in the first quarter. I mean, he was below 200, but he's battled back in the last month. He's been more like the old Mookie. He doesn't have the same power. Whoa, the next pitch misses inside and brushes him off a little bit, so now it's 3-0. Speaking of brushing off, umpire comes up and cleans off the plate. And so now Hughes is at risk of loading the bases up with only 1 out. So the 3-0 pitch on the way to Mookie. And swung on and fouled back for strike 1, 3-1. Said this early on last night, guys. I'm going to say it again. There are fireworks coming. That's just how this series has been. Mookie fouls it off along the third baseline. So now the count is full. It's kind of slow early on last night. Shohei Ohtani, first at bat of the game, at least for the Dodgers, had another leadoff home run and got to 300 home runs on his career. And then it was very quiet until later in the game. So a big early pitch here from Hughes. Only his 4th inning pitched this year. A full count with 1 out. And the pitch misses outside. Good eye by Mookie. And now the bases are loaded. So Hughes, in his first inning, 2 walks and 1 hit. And let's see if they're going to be dancing at the mound. No dancing, no dancing. Oh, a little bit of jig back and forth. Hey, if you're a Dodger fan, let us know if you went and got a free Jumbo Jack today in LA. I'm a little bit jealous. So, bases loaded, only 1 out. The bottom of the first, and that brings up Max Muncy, who is hungry. He blasted the ball a few times last night, just happened to be right to the second baseman. And like we said, those things kind of work themselves out in the long run. See how it goes here for Muncy. He's got 2 runners in scoring position, and he's one of the best Dodgers. In fact, one of the best in the league at bringing them home in that situation. And the first pitch is a strike, 0-1. Lefty facing a right-handed pitcher, which should give him a little bit more time to be able to see the ball. And he sees the next one for a ball. Counts 1-1. So the 1-1 pitch with the bases loaded. And the ball gets past the catcher, and Tommy Edman's going to score. It was a wild pitch that bounced on the ground and slightly inside the strike zone. And it wasn't easy to handle, but the catcher tried to backhand it. And really, what you're supposed to do as a catcher, that's what I played, is you're supposed to be taught from a young age. You're taught to slide over and get your body in front of the ball. Kind of cup your body over and let it bounce off your chest. He did not do that. And that was a poor mistake and poor execution. So the Dodgers up 1-0. And now the count's 2-2 to Muncy, who still has 2 runners in scoring position because everybody advanced. And there's still only 1 out. And the next pitch is also a ball. So now we're at full count. Love seeing the Dodgers put pressure on the Rockies right away. Don't mess around. Next pitch. And it misses inside for ball 4. So once again, the bases are loaded. And there's only 1 out. And Teoscar Hernandez comes up. And he's come up a couple of times recently with the bases loaded. And most recently and memorably delivered a grand slam to flip the game against the Padres during that series. Teo's batting .260. And takes the first pitch for a strike. Teo was out for quite a stretch with a hamstring injury, and so he's done a great job coming back, and he looks as fit as I've seen him in years. Like his trapezius muscles, you know, those neck muscles like bodybuilders have, his neck muscles at the base of his neck, popping out of his uniform. And it's 0-2 early to him. Next pitch is in there for a ball. And the thing that's great about Teoscar is he used the time to rehab from his hamstring injury to just get more fit in general. This is what professionals do, you know. As a coach, what you try to teach your players is, you know, worry about what you have control over. And sometimes you have minimal control over whether you get hurt or not. But if you do, come back even stronger. And he did so much running during that time that he was like dying to get back, not just because he missed playing, but because the running was so brutal for him. So the 2-strike pitch on the way to Teo. And swung on a miss for strike 3. It was a good pitch. Good pitch. That curve stretched the strike zone. So it's up to Kyle Tucker to try to do some major damage and not strand 3 runners on base. Tucker's been a little bit better lately. His average now is a .248 with 7 home runs and 45 RBI. And the first pitch catches the corner for a strike. So Hughes has struggled this first inning. But it'd be a bit of a, definitely be a victory for him if he can get out of here without allowing any more runs. He's already up to 30 pitches. Next one is a ball. Thing about Tucker is lately his body language has looked better. He doesn't look so dejected. He doesn't look so uncertain up there as he's been working on keeping his hands back. And he hits the ball to left field. It's in there for a base hit. Moniak can't get to it, and that is going to score 2 RBI for Kyle Tucker and 2 more runs for the Dodgers. So a 2-out single to left field. And now they have a 3-0 early lead on the Rockies. That'll bring up Alex Call, the number 8 hitter. This is the thing about a strong early start, too. You force a lot of batters through the lineup. The umpire is not about to bat. They're going to bring up Alex Call from hell. There he goes, pops up out of the dirt. And he takes the first pitch for a ball. But it just gives you more opportunities, especially your best hitters. Gives them more opportunities to be in the lineup. Now, the first pitch was called a strike. And you can see him tapping his head right there. He's challenging it. It does look like it just clipped the corner. And the call is confirmed. So the Dodgers lose a challenge on that one early on. And the next pitch is a ball. And the next pitch is called a strike. And Alex Call challenges again. Oh, I don't know about this young buck. And he's wrong. So Alex Call in one at bat burns both of the challenges for the Dodgers. And everyone groaned no. The announcer said no. The fans in the stands at Dodger Stadium said no. And then after he's unsuccessful on both challenges, he fouls the next one off, and the count is 1-2. Boy, he's going to get some grief over that one. But he's still up. I guess you could say he'd make up for it a little bit. He hits a home run, but he's got 1 home run on the entire season, so that's a pretty remote chance. Next pitch is fouled off. He barely gets the bat around. So 2 outs, 2 runners on. And Call's still up there in the first inning, and Hughes has already thrown 36 pitches. Looks at the next one for a ball, 2-2. And fouls the next one off. So 2-2, 2 on, and 2 outs. And the pitch on the way from Hughes to Call. Swings and misses for strike 3. Wow, and you can see he walks. Oh, the 3D didn't show it very well. He walked to the dugout sheepishly. Man. With his head down going, boy, did I goof that up. So the Dodgers score 3 runs. I mean, that's a great way to start the game. And they almost have the entire lineup come up in the first inning and force the pitcher to go 40 pitches deep. But I said this yesterday. I'm saying it again. I said it the last 2 days. This game is so far from over. And it's not just because it's the first inning, it's because it's the Rockies. I have a lot of respect for the Rockies because they're young bucks, especially. They battle the entire game. They do not quit. They do not give up on any pitches and just assume that, there are bats that, they can't take advantage of. They will do everything they can until the game is completely over. If you haven't yet, participate in our poll tonight in the chat. I'm actually working on a new app that's going to keep track of your responses in future broadcasts, and we'll have a leaderboard for all of you guys, and we'll have some prizes for the people that do the best job predicting. But the poll is, which pitcher leaves the game first? And honestly, if you had asked me, I probably would have leaned towards Sasaki. Because the last couple of times he was roughed up. The last couple of times he's pitched. And I'm telling you, when he's gone to the dugout, I've seen tears. I feel bad for the guy. But so far, so good for him. He had a very quick first inning. And meanwhile, Hughes is up to 40 pitches. First pitch to Rumfield, the 4-hitter, is a strike. Rumfield's batting .297, so just a hair below 300, and he has 12 home runs and 47 RBI. Also, get in the chat and let us know where you're joining us from. Who are you rooting for? So now the count is 1-1, Rumfield. And the pitch swung on, and a broken bat, and Freddie Freeman comes over and makes the play easily for the first out of the inning. So next up is the 5-hitter, Karros. Did not have a hit last night. And Kyle Karros, that name sounds familiar, is the son of former Dodger player Eric Karros, who's announcing and watching his son play against his former team. First pitch, looks at for a ball, 1-0. Kyle fouled one off of his knee last night. Next pitch, in there for a strike, 1-1. And the pitch swung on and blasted to left center. And it's over the fence. Teoscar Hernandez cannot make a play on the ball. And just like I said last night, stay tuned. These guys never quit. And Karros hits a home run. So now the score is 3-1. Long way from over. That's why jumping on top of these guys early is important. Not because you're going to make them quit, because you need your runs. And they have some good young bats, especially in the top half of the lineup. So now Johnston is up. Karros, if you're curious, has 9 home runs, and 4 of them are against the Dodgers. First pitch to the 6-hitter, Johnston, is a strike. Next pitch on the way. Swung on and grounded to first. Freddie Freeman picks it up. Sasaki covers no problem, and that's the next out of the inning. So now 2 away. So now the 7 hitter, Julian, comes up. Nobody on and 2 outs after the home run from Karros. And Julian's batting .225 on the season. First pitch misses just outside for a ball. Next pitch fouled off for strike 1, 1-1. Yeah, Call might need to go back to the batting cages. You know, yeah, chat. Nothing wrong with that. That's how Mookie Betts climbed his way out of a terrible batting slump. Next pitch misses for a ball, 2-1. And the pitch, another one driven deep. This one to right field. And it's gone. Another home run given up by Roki Sasaki over Tucker's head. Holy smokes. Holy smokes. And Sasaki turns away and looks like he's going to cry on the mound. Dude. No, he looks like he's going to cry. He's like pushing his hat over his eyes. Oh my goodness. This is terrible. And now the score is 3-2. So Sasaki now has given up 9 home runs in his last 4 outings. And the Dodgers get off to a strong start, but the Rockies come right back, and they're only down by 1. Tovar grounds it to second base, and Tommy Edman throws to Freddie Freeman to end the inning. But the damage is done, and Sasaki just slumps off the field. Man, 2 jacks already. That's why I picked the poll question. That's why I picked it. I thought if Sasaki was going to fold or give up home runs, it would not be this early. And he looked good in the first inning. So he has not thrown nearly as many pitches as Hughes. But it's anybody's guess who's going to be out of this game first tonight. Hughes was an excellent prospect before he injured his elbow, and he had what's called Tommy John surgery. So that was invented a few decades ago. But before, when you damaged the tendon in your elbow, and you were a pitcher, you were just done. Your career was done. And then they pioneered this thing that they did for the pitcher named Tommy John, where they basically do like a transplant of a tendon into your elbow and you can play. And in some cases, some pitchers come back even stronger than they were before. And so this is why Hughes has so little experience. He's just coming back off the injured list. So the Dodgers have a lead of 1 run. We know from the last 2 games against the Rockies, it's going to be tenuous. So we're going to start with Alfonso. And the first pitch is a strike. And Alfonso's a pretty poignant story. He made his major league debut for the Dodgers a couple of games ago after struggling and he flies out to left field. But I'll finish this. After struggling in the minor leagues for 10 years, so he's in his 30s, and he finally gets to the majors. And right before his first game, where he finally gets to play in the big leagues, he gets word that his sister and his mother-in-law had died in the earthquake in Venezuela. Just terrible, terrible news, and a bittersweet story to say the least. So that's going to bring up Shohei Ohtani. And the first pitch is a strike. The next pitch swung on and missed by Ohtani for a strike, and he looked terrible on that. Boy, if there are pitches, well, this one wasn't inside. It's usually inside pitches. But there are pitches where he looks absolutely horrible. Now, he's a great player. In my opinion, definitely the greatest of his generation and probably the greatest of all time, before all is said and done. But boy, when he misses, it's like he's trying to put every ounce of physics into creating power, and he strikes out, strike three there. But he can miss terribly when he does that. He pulls his head, loses eye contact with the ball. And now 2 are away in this inning. So that'll bring up Tommy Edman, who already has a hit tonight and a run. First run to score for the Dodgers. Scored on a wild pitch that got past the catcher when the bases were loaded. And looks at the first pitch for a strike, 0-1. Next pitch on the way. Misses. Ball 1, 1-1. So Edman is batting about .350 at this point. Fouls off the next pitch down the first base side. So the count's 1-2. Next pitch on the way. And swung on and missed. 1-2. The toss in there and just low and just out of the strike zone, but Edman's able to make contact. And the count remains 1-2. So 2 away, the bottom of the second. And the pitch freezes Edman, and he stares at strike 3. So 3 away. And the Dodgers do not add to the lead their second time up. And at the end of 2, the score remains the Rockies 2 and the Dodgers 3. We are back to the Roki Sasaki reality show. And which one are we going to get this inning? Are we going to get the first inning and first quarter Roki Sasaki? Or are we going to get the second quarter and second inning Sasaki just getting lit up? Only time will tell. So the 9-hitter, Brett Sullivan, comes up for the Rockies to start this at bat. He's batting a pretty meager 220. And the first pitch misses well high for a ball, 1-0. Next pitch, well outside and low, ball 2. So, might be ruminating about that last inning. I'm sure he is. And if he's a sensitive person, and I don't say this as a slight, you're just either wired as a sensitive person or you're not. The next pitch is fouled off for a strike. So 2-1. If you're a sensitive person, it's hard to feel like you're letting your people down. It doesn't matter whether it's your teammates or your family. Next pitch, and it's fouled off. So that brings the count to 2-2. Good news, though, is, it's only 2 runs for the moment, and the Dodgers have the lead. So if he can find a way to kind of, just fight through this, that would be really good. That'd be a good thing for him to build on. Next pitch misses for ball 3, and now the count's full. Next pitch fouled off. So count remains full. We're just getting underway with the top of the 3rd inning. And the full count. Pitch misses well inside. He walks the 9-hitter. You can see his body language. 3D doesn't lie on that. He walks off the mound, off the back of the mound, puts both of his hands over his head, and then walks back and gets the ball. Please don't spiral, Roki. Now the Rockies are at the top of the lineup. McCarthy comes up. He is 0 for 1 tonight, but he's also batting .302. Fouls the first pitch off. Strike 1, 0-1. That's so funny. He said, Chad, he can cry in the dugout, but not on the field. Amen. You can't let them see you. Honestly, forget about crying. And there's no shame in crying. But if you're in a contest, right? You're in a contest. You can't let the other team read your body language and see that you're crumbling inside. You can't let them see the weakness and let them see that you're getting to them. Or that they're getting to you, sorry. You have to have a poker face. You really do. And a poker body, if you will. Next pitch is swung on and missed. A 1-2 to McCarthy. With the lefty, the infield shifted over. And the 1-2 pitch on the way. It's grounded to Mookie Betts, and Mookie throws to first in time for the out. However, the runner advances. And so now with 1 out, there's a runner at third base. Want him to throw early strikes, take pressure off of himself. And the first pitch is a strike. It's swung on and fouled. It's early. If you're a Dodgers fan, just keep breathing. We're all right. We're all right. The pitch to Moniak. And it's driven to center field, and it's going to be a catch, but I think it's going to be deep enough for them to tag up and score. And yes, they do so easily. So now, just like that, the score is tied 3-3. So nobody on, 2 outs. But just like that, the Rockies tie it up. And next up is Carrick. Outstanding batter. He's batting .314, but 0 for 1 so far tonight. And grounded to second base. Tommy Emden picks it up and throws it easily in time for the third out of the inning. But just like that, the Rockies tie it up. I am not changing my mind. We're okay. I'm not going back on what I said. Dodgers should be averaging over 5 runs as it is. This is the thing about the Dodgers. As a team, they're resilient. I couldn't say how resilient Roki Sasaki is. I mean, he struggled last year. He started off strong this year in the first quarter, but obviously he's struggling now. So now he can go in the dugout and he can let the tears let the tears fall. And then wipe them, get out there and keep battling. But guys, I like the poll question that I picked. Thank you very much. Because right now it's a complete toss up. I think it's 50-50. Which pitcher comes out first? It would have been fun to have us all like bet money on that. Talk about stress. We would have been like off the seat of our pants. After the first inning, if you bet on Hughes to go out first, you would have been like, oh man, I'm toast. Why did I do that? And now, who knows? So it's going to be Freddie Freeman to start this at bat for the Dodgers. And the first pitch is fouled back for strike 1. And the next pitch, inside and swung on, so it's 0-2. Next pitch, swung on and fouled along the third base line, and it was close. Oh man, he almost went the other way for a double. But just foul, and it's 0-2. So the next pitch from Hughes. It was the opposite story of Roki Sasaki. Gets Freddie Freeman looking for strike 3. Wow. Nice job. Nice job. So after a rough start where he threw almost 40 pitches in the first inning, he strikes out the top three batters the second time around in the Dodgers lineup. And that's going to bring up Mookie Betts. First pitch in there for a strike. Next pitch, fly into shallow right field. And the catch is made for the second out. I am impressed by Hughes's poise, and this is part of what I was talking about before, as Max Muncy comes up. Muncy walked the first time. Is even though it was not a good result when the game started for him, you didn't see bad body language. If you're just watching him right now, he looks so confident and so locked in. He's got a poker face. He's got high kick on his delivery to home, and he's getting after the Dodgers. That's impressive. Next pitch misses, so it's 1-1 to Muncy. And at this point, the Dodgers, thanks to Alex Call, have no challenges. Next pitch is all to ball. And the catcher challenges. So waiting for the result here. And it's successful. So the Rockies still have both of their challenges. We don't have any. And the count to Muncy is 1-2 with 2 outs. And the next one is fouled along the first base side. Count remains 1-2. Next pitch on the way. And swung on strike 3. Muncy couldn't even catch up to it. Wow, Hughes looks like a different pitcher right now. And all we are is even after some early drama and some early fireworks, both on the mound and at the plate. At the end of 3, the score is 3-3. I trust Dave Roberts. Guy's the man. Not only because he's won the last 2 World Series and they're in position to win a third, which very few teams have done, but he's a UCLA Bruin like me. And I will always support the Bruins. Always. Okay, Sasaki, can you just take a break from giving up runs, please? Please. See if we can check out his body language. Maybe I should set the camera this inning to be right behind Sasaki. Because, boy, that's been entertaining. I'll tell you that much. And I know on the television that's how it is. Well, let's give it a shot this inning and see how it goes. See if we can put ourselves in the mind of a sensitive child. So that brings up the cleanup hitter, the number 4 hitter, Rumfield. And the first pitch to him. Swung on and instantly gets a base hit to center field. And Sasaki does his thing. You can see that there. Puts both hands on his head. You know, that's a psychological thing. I mean, he doesn't completely give it up. But Karros comes up next, who's 1 for 1, and he hit a home run. He hit a solo home run off of Sasaki last time. But there's something called the Surrender Cobra. Excuse me. And check swing for a strike. So if you ever watched a sporting event, it could be the World Cup, it could be football, it could be baseball, it doesn't really matter. Okay. And especially late in the game, if it's close or something really dramatic and something bad happens, okay, something bad happens to your team, you will see the fans, 1-1 pitch on the way, and 0-1 pitch, misses for a ball. They'll go like this. So they'll put their hands over their head like, oh no, oh no. That's called, like, it looks like a cobra. So my elbow's out like that, kind of looks like the back of a cobra, about to like strike somebody. Next pitch misses inside. Oh, now it's 2-1. And nobody taught the fans to do that. There's like a psychological thing that we're all kind of innately built with, and it's touching our head to comfort ourselves. And it's crazy to see that. Karros swings and hits it down the third base side, and it's another base hit. I think it's a base hit. I mean, Muncy had a chance at it. He had a chance to backhand it right along the line, and he was playing deep, but he misjudged it. They might judge it an error. So now runners in second and third, scoring position, and nobody out. Go back to the batter view, so we can check this out. Second base has got a big lead right there. Johnston's 0 for 1 tonight. I expect him to make contact and do some damage at some point. He's batting .309. He's in the 6th spot. The Rockies have actually higher batting averages in the first half of their lineup than the Dodgers do. I mean, they're good. They're good batters. They just need, their pitching staff is really bad, generally speaking, which is probably why Hughes is back there as soon as they can get him. And they're glad to see him making a difference. I just do not have a great feeling right now about the Dodgers, but I hope they prove me wrong. So the early count to Johnston is 0-2. No outs. Sasaki hanging to a tie game. And the next pitch on the way. Swings and misses. Strike 3. Oh boy, we needed that. And so did Sasaki. But only one away. Only one away, folks. So that'll bring up the number 7 hitter, Julian, who also hit a home run on Sasaki already. I mean, he hit a blast over the right field fence. Kyle Tucker did not have a play at it. Does not get there fast enough on this first pitch and fouls it off for strike 1. Next pitch, fouled off. 2. Julian 1-1 with a solo home run so far. And the next pitch misses for ball 1, 1-2. Only one out, and runners at second and third, threatening. Allow the Rockies to take the lead. The next pitch misses for ball 2. Next pitch bounces in the dirt for a ball. Now it's full count. 3-2. And Julian looking for something probably he can drive. Two on, one away, and the pitch just about to be delivered. Sasaki takes a look at the runners. Second base has a big lead. If there's a base hit, he's going to score. You're going to score 2 people. And it is 3-2 after that swing. So with Julian battling, Sasaki doing as well. And the next pitch is also fouled off. 3D didn't show that properly. Still 3-2. So the full count pitch from Sasaki. Trying to keep it level. And it clips the edge of the strike zone for strike 3. So 2 straight strikeouts for Roki Sasaki. So number 8 hitter Tovar comes up. Very aggressive swinger. Is only batting .206 on the season and swings at the first pitch for a strike, 0-1. 2 strikes away from averting disaster. Gotta get a little better angle over here. There we go. So next pitch on the way. Oh, and it bounces in the dirt, and the catcher does a nice job blocking it. It wasn't as far to the side as it was for the pitch in the dirt for the Rockies catcher. But our catcher does what he's supposed to and blocks it with his body, the way that you teach kids from Little League on up. And so it's 1-1. And no run comes across. And the next pitch swung on and missed for strike 2. So now 1 strike away from escaping from the inning. Good job by the rookie catcher in his second start. I'm going to breathe. I'm going to take your advice, chat. Next pitch is fouled off. My God, this is not even a playoff game. But I'm so not used to seeing the Dodgers risk losing 2 games in a row, let alone a series. So 1-2, 2 outs, 2 people in scoring position. And the pitch swung on, hit deep to right. And Tucker's going back and makes the catch at the warning track. Oh boy. I can breathe even better. And we escape with 3 outs. And after all of that, the middle of the 4th, the score is still 3-3. tale continues. The drama continues. And Hughes, completely different pitcher almost, especially last inning compared to the first inning, comes up. And the throw down from the catcher to second base. And so now Teoscar Hernandez. Teo comes up. 0 for 1 so far tonight. And if you're curious about how the batters are doing as the night goes on, looks at the first pitch for a strike. I've got a transparent visual in the bottom right corner of your screen that highlights in white what the current batter has done so far tonight. Next pitch, flied shallow to right, and the catch made for the first out of the inning. So 1 away, and that'll bring up Kyle Tucker, who had a huge 2-run single and is 1 for 1. With runners on, he was able to help the Dodgers cash in. Great to see. First pitch in there for a strike, 0-1. And the next pitch swung on and missed. Looked like he was a little bit ahead of that one. This is one of the things that Kyle Tucker is struggling with. Talking about keeping his hands back behind his body, and have his hands arrive after his body starts to turn. When they say that, that's what they mean. Fouls the next one off for a strike. Count remains 0-2. And fouls another one to keep it that way. And this is smart by the pitcher, Hughes. He's attacking the inside. Because Tucker showed this last night. He had one at bat where his hands were too quick, and he kind of like talked to himself. And the next time, he tried to keep his hands back, which is what he's been working on. And he was kind of out of sorts and struck out. Next pitch misses outside for ball 1. 1-2 pitch, and it is blasted to second base. But a nice job by the second baseman digging that one and throwing to first for the second out of the inning. So 2 away in this inning. And now Alex Call comes up, who's 0 for 1. Really the triple crown of failure last time. He struck out last time, and before he struck out, he challenged 2 pitches that were called strikes. And he was wrong both times, so he burned all the Dodgers challenges for this game in 1 at bat. Next pitch, grounded to shortstop and charged by the shortstop, thrown to first, and easily thrown for the third out of the inning. So at the bottom of the 4th, score remains 3-3. All right, this inning we're gonna see. Yep, Roki Sasaki still in there. He's battling. Wonder if you can see if there's any tear streaks on his face. Let me see. Hmm. Greedy doesn't show if he's been crying or not. Poor fella. Poor fella. But to his credit, he battled last inning. There were two runners in scoring position after he gave up the lead earlier in the game, and he rallied. So he's got a little bit of toughness, a little bit of grit. I mean, you can't be in the major leagues and not have some. The road is so hard to get there in the first place, let alone remain there. But two strikeouts, and then forced the third batter, the third out of the inning, to fly to right field. It was deep, but nonetheless, it was an out. So the Dodgers jumped out to a 3-0 lead in the first inning. Roughed up Hughes, the pitcher who's only pitched 3 innings so far this year, and started the game with 40 pitches, but now looks completely different and is pitching lights out to the Dodgers. And then Roki Sasaki's been the flip side of that. He's been the opposite side of that coin, the yin and the yang, the two of them. Sasaki started really strong the first inning, and he struggled ever since. Last inning, it's kind of like holding onto the rails of a roller coaster. But he made it out, and the score still tied. So now he faces the 9-hitter Sullivan, who he walked last time and who scored a run tonight. The last time he looked dejected, Roki Sasaki, was to this guy. And the early count to him is 1-2. Got to count on the Dodgers to be able to score 5 runs or more on average each game, right? And so they're at 3 at this point. They're on pace, but so are the Rockies. And the count to Sullivan is 2-2. But I'm impressed with these batters. The way that they battle, they're aggressive, they make good contact, just fundamentally sound. And the pitch is swung on. It's grounded to third base. Muncy picks it up and throws to first by charging it and one away. This is one of the things I love about the Dodgers infield. If you take a look at third base, shortstop with Mookie, not with Miguel like we had last night, and then Tommy Edman and really anybody else that plays second base for the Dodgers, they have great range. So what they'll do is, as you can see here, is Muncy plays up, right? He's kind of on the front edge of the dirt. And then Mookie plays on the back edge of the dirt because they can get around. First pitch to McCarthy is fouled off for strike one. They have such range, they can cross over in front of each other and pretty much cover up anything that's not hit as a blast before it gets to the outfield. So I've seen Mookie make plays on the other side of second base. I've seen the second baseman make the plays on the other side of second base as well. And I've seen, just like we saw with Max Muncy, make plays where he crosses over in front of Mookie, and just like Mookie is right now, when he's already like hugging second base. This is one of the many things that make the Dodgers defense elite. And it's another good block by the catcher in his second start this year, who had 2 family members before his debut in the major leagues after struggling in the minors for 10 years, die in the earthquakes for Venezuela. And the pitch from Sasaki, lined right to him, and he catches it. makes the catch on his knees. Good job, Sasaki. That is not an easy thing to do. And that can be a little bit scary because your reflex is just get out of the way or bat it down. But he made the catch. And now there's 2 away. So 2 away, and Moniak comes up. And swings at the first pitch, as they often do. It's fly to left. Teoscar Hernandez is running up to get it and makes the catch for the third out of the inning. So another quick inning, like the beginning of the game for Sasaki. And the score remains 3-3. The Dodgers coming up. Sun is down and it's almost dark. At least in our part of the world. If you're joining us, let us know where you are joining from if you haven't already tonight. Fully expect Hughes to come out again this next inning. And it looks like he will. Not many huddles at the mound tonight. Not many break dancers. Not many pop dancers. Looking forward to that. It's got to happen at some point. That's when the 3Ds just got me giggling usually late in the game, especially if I'm tired and I've been working all day. So Alfonso, the catcher we were talking about, whose family was affected by, unfortunately, the Venezuelan earthquakes, is coming up. He's done a nice job behind the plate, blocking some bad pitches tonight. And the Dodgers looking for their first base runner since the first inning. Hughes continues, and it's crazy because Hughes threw 40 pitches in the first inning, and he's only thrown 30 since then. He's only up to 72. Alfonso looks at the first pitch right on the edge of the strike zone for a strike. And the next pitch misses outside for a ball. 1-1. Next pitch clips the strike zone for strike 2. And the next pitch is fouled off. Count remains 1-2. Dodgers have been quiet at the plate ever since the first inning. Made a lot of noise, got out to a 3-0 lead, and since then, very quiet as Alfonso pops it up to left field, and the out is made without too much trouble. But the thing I love most about the number 9 hitter is when they're done, it leads to the number 1 hitter, Shohei Ohtani, a.k.a. Godzilla. Shohei hit his 300th home run career-wise last night, and it was his first at bat of the evening. Shohei's 0 for 2 tonight and has not looked good. And swings at the first pitch for strike 1. Next pitch on the way. Swung on and hit deep to left field. It's a high fly ball near the warning track. But Carrick makes the catch. It's actually short of the warning track. And of course, every time he hits a fly ball pretty much with any kind of depth, I hear the crowd going off, and I kind of get the same way. It's crowd think. So now Shohei's 0 for 3 tonight. And that brings up Tommy Edman, the Dodger with the highest batting average. Tommy's 1 for 2 tonight and has already scored a run. in that first inning. The only time the Dodgers were productive. So just like that, 2 away. And grounded to shortstop. Tovar picks it up and close to second base as he makes the throw to first for the third out of the inning. So another 1-2-3. Very interesting. If you're joining us now and you haven't participated in the chat poll, there's still time. And I still think it's anybody's guess which pitcher is going to get the hook first tonight. Roki Sasaki's cheeks look pretty dry, so that's good. I'm sorry, it's a running joke tonight with him crying. And if you're joining us late, I said, you're just wired, sensitive, or you're not. And he is, and he's fighting that off because he doesn't want to let his team down. So I'm not trying to make fun of the guy. I'm not trying to cast shade on Roki Sasaki for actually caring. I wish there were more players that cared about their teammates and how they were doing. And would love to see him finish strong and get the win. Get some run support in the next at bat for the Dodgers. But he's got to get through the meat of the order, and that includes Carrig, who's up now, the 3 batter, who's 0 for 2, but he's batting .310. First pitch, swung on and missed. And what's good is that Sasaki is, he's throwing strikes after he's responded. Lower pitch counts the last 2 innings with a couple of strikeouts, and the next pitch is swung on and missed. I wonder what his total is. He's probably not quite close to 7 strikeouts. Even though I'm not in Los Angeles, I'm looking for that for y'all if you're in Los Angeles so that you can get a free jumbo jack. So the next pitch misses for a ball, and the count's 1-2 early on. And the pitch from Sasaki swung on and missed for strike 3. Now that's good. That's impressive because Carrig is not known for swinging and missing. That's a great sign. And if Sasaki can keep this up and battle through a weak spot that he had earlier, like we were talking about, that could be something for him to build on and maybe turn around his season. So that brings up the 4-hitter, Rumfield, who looks at the first pitch for a ball. Rumfield is 1 for 2. He's batting .298. Next pitch, well outside for ball 2. Uno, see if Roki responds, and he does. It was a solid strike. So now it's 2-1. And this is something that Yamamoto does so well. He paints the strike zone. He's got incredible control. I haven't seen much of that from Sasaki tonight. Next pitch is swung on and missed for strike 2, though. So now he's on the verge of another strikeout. Now he's going quicker. You can see in his body language and his face, if you're watching this on TV, that he looks more confident. So 1 out, 2, and the count's 2-2. And the pitch hit to Sasaki. He bats it down, picks it up, throws it to first, and in time. So Sasaki has made 2 outs on his own tonight. And a good stretch by Freddie Freeman to make it get done. And if you saw Sasaki's body language, he was like, his hands out like this, like praying, going, "Thank you, goodness. Thank you, Lord." Thank you, Freddie Freeman, the closest thing we have to a god. Him and Shohei, this team. But Sasaki, before that play, also made an out on a line back to the mound and caught the ball. So nice job fielding so far. That brings up Karros, who swings and misses for the first strike. Kyle Karros is 2 for 2 tonight, and he has a home run and a double. So he's been lighting up Sasaki. Kyle Karros, the son of pitch swung on and missed for strike 2. Oh my gosh, I'm blanking out on the first name. Why am I saying Alex Karros? It's not Alex Karros. It's Eric Karros. Eric Karros being one of the all-time leaders in Dodger history in terms of hitting home runs. So the 2-strike pitch to Karros. And freezes him up for strike 3. All right, Sasaki. Yeah, good for you. Good for you. So 3 strikes. And that was probably his best inning. No question. So Sasaki, after struggling and riding the roller coaster, now looks like he's kind of he's got some good control and some good command, and he's made adjustments to batters that roughed him up early. And the middle of the 6th, score is still 3-3. All right, as the kids say, lock in, fam. I said it in the beginning when the Dodgers jumped out to a 3-0 lead. I'm saying it again. This one's coming down to the wire, just like the first 2 games. First game was in extra innings. And if we did not have a fabulous defensive team play, that game would have not gone to extra innings and given us a chance to have Dalton Rushing's leadoff single to win that game. And then last night, our middle relievers collapsed. This is the thing that really worries me about tonight. If we get a lead and then we finally hand the ball off, who are we handing it to? Can't be Will Klein. Can't be Will Klein. Maybe Hurt. Hurt's been a little bit better lately. I kind of almost want to see Vesia come in. So Hughes back on the mound. And the question, our poll question for tonight, still has not been answered because both starters are in. And the first pitch by Freddie Freeman is fouled off. So the count Early to him is after this pitch. I'll just go ahead and bring you up to speed. 1-2. Fouls it to the right. 1-2. One of the things great about Freeman is just his ability to go with whatever pitch he gets. And a lot of times it's up the middle. And that's where he hits it now. And the shortstop was playing there, so no problem. Picks up the ground ball, throws first, and that's the first out of the inning. So Hughes is on a roll. Now Sasaki might be on a roll. And that brings up Mookie Betts in the 4 position. Did not play last night, and that's one of the things that bit the Dodgers in the butt. Because defensive miscues led to the breakdown and the catch-up and ultimately the loss to the Rockies. Mookie's batting in his cleanup position. He's 0 for 1. He's walked and scored a run. And the second pitch at this at bat is fouled off. And so the count is 0-2. Bernardino is up in the Rockies bullpen, so this might be the last inning for Hughes. Next pitch is fouled off. So the count's 0-2. Let's see. Zoom in here. I want to see the strike zone a little bit better. There we go. Next pitch. Check swing. It's outside. And they say Mookie did not go. It didn't look like he went. And so the count is 1-2. Three to three, chat. And the next pitch just misses. And they're not going to challenge it. So the count is 2-2 to Mookie Betts. Boy, it kind of looked, I mean, if we zoom in here, it looked like it caught the strike zone. Head's in the way. All right, next pitch out of the strike zone, and it's a ball. Oh, but the Rockies are going to challenge this one. This one looked further out. And the challenge is unsuccessful. So now the count's 3-2. So full count, 1 out. Mookie Betts has not had a hit tonight. And the pitch, well outside, but check swing for strike 3. Yikes. That was the one that was the furthest outside the strike zone. All right, Mookie. At least you can do some good for us on defense. And maybe he'll come up in a clutch situation. Probably will come up in a clutch situation later tonight. But the score remains 3-3, and it's 2 outs, and now Max Muncy comes up, who's 0 for 1 with a walk tonight. And righty on lefty, the first pitch is a strike. Next pitch to Muncy. Swung on and blasted to right field, and it's down the line. Wonder if this is going to be a double. Johnson picks it up, throws it to second base, and not in time. Okay, way to go, Muncy. Way to go. Does the DD, the Dodger dance. And that gives us, with 2 outs, a runner in scoring position. Let's see what the Rockies are going to do. Are they going to bring in the guy that's warmed up in the bullpen? More importantly, are they going to have a 3D dance-off? Here they come. Here they come. No mistaken Dodger players in there, huh? One of the things that with the 3D that you see is The pitching coach comes out, or the manager comes out, never has like the 3D technology on them. Oh, there we go. There was a little bit of a dance. More like a slam. Didn't respond with the slam. It looks like Hughes is going to stay in there. So Teo Hernandez is in there. He's 0 for 2 tonight. And he's batting .257 on the year. So 2 away and a runner, Muncy, in scoring position, hoping to take advantage. And the first pitch is swung on and flied to right. And the catch is made near the foul line and the foul pole for the third out of the inning. So a little bit of a late threat in that inning, but no runs to show for it. And at the end of 6, score is still 3-3. So I'm going to guess that Roki Sasaki comes out one more time because he was on a roll. Oh, I am wrong. It looks like Jack Dreyer is going to come out. Yeah. Puppy, yeah. That's the animation of my pup. Charlie, where are you? Charlie, Charlie. Show you guys if he comes around. 20-pound dog. That breed is known as the Cavalier King Charles Spaniel. Get him out of there for now. We got to be able to see as much of the field as possible as Jack Dreyer comes up. And it looks like if Hughes is replaced, the next time he goes out there, that the poll question is both. Both of the starting pitchers came out at the same time. So Jack Dreyer comes in. He's pitched 36 games, and he's got a 3.19 ERA, pretty solid, 42 strikeouts, and 10 walks. He's given up 6 home runs this year. And he's been solid. I don't know why I wasn't thinking about Dreyer. Maybe because he hasn't played and pitched quite as much as the others. But I'll take him over Will Klein. So, we are getting into the last third of this game. And now the middle and late relievers are going to play a huge role. And it looks like the Rockies are going to insert, I think they're going to insert a pinch hitter. See here in a second. And it's going to be in the number 6 spot, Freeman. All right, so the first pitch, and right away it is grounded to second base, and easy work made, thrown to Freeman for the first out of the inning. So very quickly, 1 out, and that'll bring up Castro, the number 7 hitter. conference at the mound, and the umpire says, "Hey, man, get back to work. We just started, for crying out loud." It was one pitch. Castro's batting 267, and he's got 6 home runs on the season. So Willie Castro coming up. Loading into the box. And the first pitch right there in the strike zone, 0-1. Next pitch, swung on a miss for strike 2. I'm going to try to drill down in my spare time, learn a little bit more about Jack Dreyer. Next pitch, swung on a miss, strike 3. Doing his job. Thank you. Thank you for having a middle reliever that does their job. I mean, they don't have to be lights out. They don't have to strike everybody out. But they have to be reliable. They have to throw strikes. They can't be walking people and just giving up blasts right away. And that's what, unfortunately, has happened too many times this year with the Dodgers. Their middle relievers just like give up the game. And right now, we don't even have a lead. And the first pitch is swung on. It's grounded at Tommy Edman, who throws to first base easily for the third out of the inning. And that's what you want from a middle reliever. I like that. I like that. Good job, Jack Dreyer. Way to make quick work of the Rockies. So going to the 7th inning stretch, and the game is still 3-3. All right. So after the 7th inning stretch, Kyle Tucker comes up and Bernardino comes in, who's pitched 43 games this year and has an ERA of 3.22. And first pitch is fouled off to the right for the first strike of the inning. Kyle Tucker early on had a big hit in the first inning that drove home 2 runs. And that's where all the fireworks happened for the Dodgers, the very first inning. Very quiet since then. An occasional base runner. Next pitch, looked at for a ball. And the count now 2-1. Guys, I'm going to tell you right now, this is the calm before the storm. Pretty much every game is like this between us and the Rockies. Although if you're a Rockies fan, welcome. And Tucker grounds out to second base. So that'll bring up Alex Call, who's a GOAT, and we don't mean it as greatest of all time. The GOAT of the evening, who goofed up his first time at bat. Alex Call not only struck out the first time up tonight, he looks at the first pitch for a ball, 1-0. But he challenged two different strike calls and lost on both of those challenges. And so just like that, the Dodgers in the very first inning, because we had such a good first inning, we lost both of our challenges. So any kind of crucial situation for the rest of the game, forget about it. We're not going to be able to challenge anything. Got to be old school. Got to leave no doubt. And next pitch misses inside. Count is 2-1. So the next pitch to Call, driven deep to left field. He's trying to make up for his mistakes earlier. Moniak is near the warning track and makes the catch. False alarm on noise. And all it is a long out. And now there's two away in the inning. I'll bring up Alfonso. Alfonso getting his second start of the season after 10 years in the minors. Was called up recently. So great story, but also bittersweet story with two family members that just recently died in the earthquakes in Venezuela. First pitch is a strike to Alfonso. Pitch swung on and flied. And to somewhat deep right center, but not a challenging play to make. And so 3 away. And at the bottom of 7, score is still 3-3. So we'll see in a moment where the Rockies decide to go on the mound. And even though Roki Sasaki struggled tonight, he kept the Rockies in check. The Dodgers need to be able to score more than 3 runs. They just do, especially with the people in their lineup. And so I don't know how you guys feel about this, but I feel a little bit like going with the hot hand, just like in basketball. If you got somebody who's shooting it really well and just feeling it, you stay with them until, it looks like they're struggling just a little bit. You don't have to stay with them all night and have them in the lineup. And I like Vesia. And Vesia comes in now for the top of the 8th inning. But the last pitcher, Jack Dreyer, he made quick work of them. I'm not a proponent of just bringing in the next guy right now. And I know this is not, we're not even at the All-Star break. And I'm sure the professionals, are looking at pitch counts over the course of the long season and such. But you can give, you can give Dreyer an extra at bat or two. And if he struggles, then you bring in Vesia, right? But regardless, I do like Alex Vesia, generally speaking. He's pitched in 40 games this year. He has a 2.40 ERA, so it's lower than Dreyer's. Got 41 strikeouts and 19 walks. And he has given up in 40 games this many home runs. So I like Vesia. I like Vesia's attitude too. He's fiery. So if you watch his body language, even just using 3D, like he strikes somebody out, he just paces. He's a little bit like a pit bull. So he'll circle the mound, and he kind of just has this energy where it's like, I'm going after people. I'm going to be an attack dog, and that's what we need right now. So he's going to face the beginning of this inning, the 9-hitter Fulford, who's batting 189 and has only one home run on the season. So if you have a pitcher that's not giving up any home runs, giving up a home run to a guy that has only hit one on the entire season, that would be shocking. So I'm not putting that as a poll question. First pitch is a strike, and the count is 0-1. Next pitch on the way. Swung on and missed, and Fulford couldn't even catch up to it. Just blew it by him for strike 2. Just getting underway at the top of the 8th. And at the bottom of the 8th, the top of the order is going to be coming up for the Dodgers. And the next pitch misses for a ball, counts 1-2. So the 1-2 pitch on the way. And grounded to Muncy. And he throws it over the head of Freddie Freeman. Oh my goodness. He did a good job picking it. And Freddie's tall, but he threw it over his head. We're kind of lucky that Fulford didn't go to second base on that, but that's still bad. And that's the second error for tonight for Max Muncy, who's normally pretty automatic. Now McCarthy's coming up. He made an error earlier tonight where there was a ball hit pretty deeply and close to third base. It was just fair. And he seemed to kind of misjudge it and not even put a glove on it. Now, it was hard to get to, and I think you could argue that it was a base hit. But boy, it's almost like his vision was off. It's really weird. So nobody out, and the Dodgers start with a runner on first, and Vesia got to step up and make up for Max Muncy's error. Good news is the count to the next batter is 0-2. And I trust Vesia. Vesia looks at first. And the next pitch is fouled off. So 2 strikes to McCarthy. McCarthy batting .299, but he's 0 for 3 tonight. So the next pitch to McCarthy. Swung on and lined to right field. And it bounces and goes over the wall for a ground rule double. Guys, this is what I was talking about. I said it the first inning when we were up 3-0. Lock in, fam, as the young kids say. This is just how it is against the Rockies. And some teams just play better against certain opponents. Doesn't matter if one's like at the top of the standings, the other one's at the bottom. And I have to say now, after watching my third game, the Rockies, I'm impressed. I'm impressed with how they battle. I'm impressed with how they don't give up. And I think they have some good young talent. They just have to do a better job finding people to come in as pitchers. Although Hughes did a really good job tonight. He struggled and he threw 40 pitches to start the game, very first inning. And it was pretty lights out after that first inning where he gave up 3 runs to the Dodgers. The Dodgers have been quiet since then. So there's nobody out. And thanks to the error from Muncy and the double that Vesia gave up, the Rockies are threatening with runners at second and third, both in scoring position. That brings up Goodman, who's batting .251. And Goodman has 27 home runs on the season. That's more than Shohei Ohtani or any Dodger player. So definitely red light here. Breathe, people, breathe if you're a Dodger fan. First pitch is a strike. I'm going to get out a little bit further here. We can see the lead in second. Next pitch on the way. Misses for a ball. And the chants in the Dodger Stadium are "Let's go Dodgers." And next pitch, swing and miss. So the count's 1-2. Vesia looking pretty lathered up on TV. Takes a deep breath with a long beard. Not quite as long as Will Klein's. Checks the runner. And then delivers. And swung on a miss for strike 3. There's one. There's one. Another stressful moment for the Dodgers and Dodgers fans. And that's going to bring up Carrig, who they are going to intentionally walk. Load the bases and force out at any base. And hopefully get a double play and escape this inning without any damage. So, scary thing is their cleanup hitter, number 4, Rumfield, is coming up. Who's 1 for 3 tonight. He's batting .297. So key situation. And this goes back a little bit to what I was talking about. Why don't you keep Jack Dreyer for at least 1 or 2 outs this inning? He was lights out last inning. And I like Vesia. I trust Vesia. He's not infallible. First pitch, outside for a ball 1. Bases loaded, only 1 out. Dodgers clinging to a tie. Pitch, swung on a foul back for strike 1. And good question in the chat. Why did we let them load the bases? Because if they have runners at second and third and nobody on first, if we're trying to get a double play to end the inning and not let them score. So if you're not the most familiar with baseball rules, even if the runner at third base crosses home plate after we get a double play, after a double play is complete, the rules say that run doesn't count. So what we're trying to do is put somebody on first base so that any place that we have an opportunity, we can make a double play and get 2 outs and end the inning. We also didn't like the three-hitter. He's kind of scary. 27 home runs. So the count now with one out is 2-2 with the bases loaded. Just a tiny bit of a delay. Next pitch. Vesia checks. And whoa. Jams him up. It's high and inside, and the guy still swings. Rumfield trying to make something happen. So the count remains 2-2. He could have looked at that one for a ball and put a lot of pressure on Vesia. So only one out. 2-2 pitch from Vesia. And swung on and missed on a ball outside. Strike three. And now, Dodgers are going to make another pitching change. I think they're going to bring out Enriquez. Ooh, nice huddle right here for slam dancing. Looks like we got some. Yeah, okay. We got a Rockies batter out there. Swinging the bat. Dodgers slam dancing. I don't know why that makes me laugh. And sinking into the dirt up and down like they're rising from the dead. Gosh, so silly. I know I'm silly. Goodness. Goodness gracious. Nah, they're getting away from their dance off. I'll go back to home plate. And I think, if I'm not mistaken, Karros is up next. Karros has already hit a home run tonight. So Edgardo Enriquez comes in. He's pitched in 34 games and has an ERA of 2.45. And he's got 35 strikeouts, 13 walks, and only allowed one home run. And when he's on, he can throw some fireballs. You know, Vesia does a nice job because he's got movement on his fireballs, but we'll say fastballs. That's what I'm referring to. But Enriquez has got the actual speed. So he's going to face trying to get one out. Man who's already hit a home run tonight, the son of a Dodger great. And the first pitch is a 100-mile-an-hour fastball, but it misses for a ball. So bases loaded and 2 outs. And the next pitch on the way, with the game tied 3-3, swung on and flied to right. And Kyle Tucker gets over there and makes the catch. So disaster averted. Nice job by Dave Roberts going to the right guy at the right time. Although I still wish Jack Dreyer would have been left in for the beginning of this inning. And after all of that stress and deep breathing, score is still 3-3. And the top of the Dodgers lineup coming up. Question is this going to be the second extra inning game in 3 days between these two teams? All right. So now we go to the bottom of the 8th. And on Shohei Ohtani bobblehead night, none of which any of us is taking advantage of, it is the man of focus. Shohei is 0 for 3 tonight, and he has not looked particularly good. So, first pitch. In there for a strike inside, looked at for strike 1. Shohei's got to gather himself or something. Next pitch. Oh my goodness. Come on, dude. That was more than a foot inside. Take what he's going to give you. Come on, Shohei. Just completely opened up. Looked like a fool on that one. So 0-2. Next pitch. And he looks at it on the corner for strike 3. So first out. And that'll bring up Tommy Edman, number 2 hitter. I like him. I like him in the clutch. I like him as a playmaker. He's making plays yesterday. And he's blazing on the base paths if he can get there. He proved that last night. He proved it again. He's done it many times tonight. In the first inning, he's the person that started everything off. He got a single and scored a run, the first run. And a very quiet night for the Dodgers after the first inning. So Edmonds 1 for 3. And he looks at the next pitch for a ball. Counts 1-1. Senzatella in the game, pitching for the Rockies. And he misses with the next pitch outside for a ball, 2-1. One away, and the 2-1 pitch to Edman. Swung on and lined deep to left, and just hooks foul and out of play. And so now the count's 2-2 to Edman. Boy, that was almost the spark we needed. That would have been a double. Easy, easy. Next pitch on the way. And it's foul tip back, and the count remains 2-2. So the Dodgers trying to get something started here in the bottom of the 8th with the top of the order. And the pitch swung on and hit to right. And the right fielder dives, but does not get there in time. And Freeman cannot prevent Tommy Edman from getting a hit. And so Freddie Freeman gets another opportunity, kind of like he did last night in the ninth, only it's occurring now in the eighth, with one away and Tommy Edman on first. I don't know how this pitcher throws, but right now Tommy Edman is covering his mouth as he talks to the first base coach about the possibility of stealing, maybe, which he did last night. This is what Freeman had as the opportunity last night, but we weren't able to cash in on. And the next pitch misses. So the count with one out is 1-1. But last night, Tommy Edman stole second base. And then Teoscar Hernandez walked in behind him. And it was runners on first and second with only a 1-run deficit. But Dodgers were not able to deliver. Pages was not able to deliver. And neither was Freddie Freeman, who swings and misses at the next pitch. So now the count's 1-2. Make that 2-2 after the next pitch misses. So the pitch on the way. Freeman swings and hits it into right field for a base hit. Edman is going from first around second, and he's going to stand up as he comes into third base. All right, we are in business. We're in business. One out, runners at first and third. And now Mookie Betts comes up, who's 0 for 2. Although he has walked tonight and he scored a run. But let's take our destiny into our own hands. Get out there and score this guy at third. Mookie doesn't swing all the way through. If you ever watch him, after he makes contact even, the bat doesn't go all the way around his back. And that's one reason why he doesn't have great power, but he has enough power to be able to fly the ball deep and then have Tommy Edman tag from third with only one out and score the go-ahead run. So we'll see if he's able to get the ball at least out of the infield and do that right now. As he fouls off the second pitch, and the count is 1-1. Next pitch fouled off, and now it's 1-2. Thing that's a little disheartening is Mookie's hitting less than 200 with runners in scoring position, which of course is what not Freddie. Third. Oh, Tommy Edman is where Tommy Edman is. And fouls off another one. Count still 2-2. One away, runners at third and first. Betts trying to cash in. Just get the ball out of the infield, even if it's not a hit. Next one is fouled off, 2-2. Dodgers have not scored after taking the lead 3-0 in the first inning. And Sensatella misses inside, and now the count's full, 3-2. Boy, if Alex Call had not wasted both of those challenges in the very first inning, You like to have at least one of those in your back pocket right now for a crucial situation like this. The 3-2 pitch. Fouled off. Count remains full. So Mookie Betts trying to deliver, although he's 0 for tonight. Full count pitch on the way. Swung on and lined. Blasted to center field, and he gets the job done. Scores Tommy Edman to go ahead by a run. Sensatella tried to challenge Mookie Betts inside, and that's what he probably hits the best. You know, he doesn't have long arms. He's got a relatively short bat. I don't know how many inches are on that bat. But he's able to turn on those. That's where he hits home runs, too, is to left and left center. And so the Dodgers take the lead. And so, still only one away. And, of course, that advances Freddie Freeman to second base. So Max Muncy comes up, who's 1 for 2 and hit a double last time. And swings and misses the second pitch. The count is 0-2. Next pitch on the way. Sensatella looks at second base. And in the dirt, but it is not a ball. Muncy swings and misses. So strike 3 and 2 away. That brings up Teoscar Hernandez. Teo's 0 for 3 tonight. He's batting .256 on the season. Next pitch. First one to Teo. Clips the bottom of the strike zone for a strike, and the count's 0-1. And swings and misses at the next pitch. Counts 0-2. So the next pitch on the way. 2 strikes. Hit deep to right field with 2 runners on. Is it going to carry over the fence? No. Freeman makes the catch at the warning track. And so Dodgers fans get up on their feet to no avail. But they score a run. And now, guys, we're going to the top of the 9th. And the Dodgers are 3 strikes away from putting the Rockies away, but we know that they are not going to go away lightly. All right, so I am expecting the Dodgers to bring in their closer, Tanner Scott. And it looks like they will. This is his whole job. This is what closers are supposed to do. It's supposed to close the door on any kind of hope, especially if it's a 1 or 2 run lead going in to the last at bat. And he's facing the number 6 hitter, Freeman. He starts with a ball. And the next pitch is fly to right. And Kyle Tucker makes quick work of that and one away just like that. And just for the record, the Dodgers have inserted Andy Pages in center field. Make sure that their defense is top notch and they don't give away this game like they did with their defense last night. So that will bring up the number 7 hitter, Castro, who's 0 for 1. Got 266 on the season. Castro trying to make something happen and doing what the Rockies typically do, which is swing early in counts and be aggressive. Next pitch is fouled off for strike 2, and so it's 0-2. Tanner Scott with a 2.7 ERA. Next pitch misses outside. And the count now is 1-2 with 1 away. And the next pitch swung on a miss for strike 3. And so now the Dodgers are 1 strike away, 3 strikes, 1 out away from closing this out as Tovar comes up. And the first pitch to Tovar misses outside for a ball. Tanner Scott trying to close this out. And next pitch, low and inside, but Tovar swings and misses for a strike. So the count now 1-1. Three really good games in this series. Not over yet. Next pitch misses. Counts 2-1. Two-one pitch on its way. Scott walks off the mound, gathers himself, gets ready to deliver the pitch. And low, looks like it bounces on home plate, but swing and a miss from Tovar. And now the count's 2-2, and the Rockies are down to their last strike. So the 2-strike pitch. Swung on a miss, strike 3. And Tanner Scott does his job convincingly. And the Dodgers are able to eke out a series victory over one of the teams with the worst record in baseball, although they earn my respect, honestly. The way they carry themselves, the way they play hard, the way they don't give up any quarter to their opponent, and the way that they ultimately press the Dodgers in a way that very few teams have done. And it's interesting, especially seeing that the Dodgers did not explode this series for a bunch of runs, which they've done the last few series. The last four series, they've had at least one game where they've had like 17 hits or more, and they've had a huge inning at some point, and the Rockies played them tough. So I think the future is relatively bright for Rockies fans. And if you are a Rockies fan, really appreciate you guys joining us tonight. The Dodgers have been playing one day after another. And so what's going to happen is they're finally going to get a well-deserved day off. That'll also give us a day off at LA Press Box. So I appreciate everybody joining us tonight. Look for the poll that we're going to have for the next time. The Dodgers are going to play an in-division rival, if you can call them a rival, although they've struggled recently, and that is the Arizona Diamondbacks. Diamondbacks recently overtook the Padres in second place behind the Dodgers in the National League West Division. But the Dodgers have the best overall record in the league, and we'll see what comes of that series. For those of you that enjoy the animation, I'll probably try to bring Charlie and put him on put him on camera next time. He is cute. I don't know who's cuter, Charlie the live dog or Charlie the animated one. But I appreciate you guys joining us tonight. If you haven't already, go ahead and smash all those buttons, like, subscribe, and turn on notifications. One of the things that we will be doing with this new channel as we grow is over the course of the summer, getting ready for football season 2. And as much as I like baseball, and I played it for quite a while, I don't have the same background as I do football. And so we'll be multitasking in the late summer, early fall, doing both the Dodgers as well as the LA Rams. We'll do the Chargers when we have a chance, as well as UCLA football, and that's where I played and I also coached. So that'll be on the horizon for us. And the more that you guys support us, the better chance we have to be able to bring you some features that I think you'll enjoy. So that's it for us from Dodger Stadium tonight. We appreciate everybody joining us, and we'll see you next time when the Dodgers play the Arizona Diamondbacks. So have a great Wednesday